The Chicago Sky finally replaced Chennedy Carter with Ariel Atkins, and I am using this as my opportunity to extend an olive branch to the Chennedy Carter Brigade. The Ken folk, I believe you guys call yourself. I am taking this as an opportunity to reach out my hand and say greetings.
Chennedy Carter just got the ultimate "it's not you, it's us" from Chicago. Except they skipped the breakup text and went straight to signing her replacement, like she never existed. Ice cold. Was this a calculated move or pure disrespect? Either way, the drama is just heating up, and it's only a matter of time before things explode.
So Chennedy Carter is a player for nobody right now. Absolutely nobody. She is not playing basketball, and we've now got a situation where we've got one of the 15 best players in the world just not in the league.
Chennedy Carter just got hit with a reality check hotter than a Chicago summer, and honestly, it was a long time coming. After a season of cheap shots, side eyes, and playing Caitlin Clark's personal villain, she's now on the outside looking in. And the Chicago Sky, they didn't just cut ties quietly, they swapped her out faster than a bad Wi-Fi connection. The message is clear. Drama won't fly, and the league is moving on without her.
Atkins is a good guard. She's a solid player. But they had Chennedy Carter that they chose to not re-sign, who was one of the most explosive shooting guards in the league. I put her around 2 or 3. I mean, I'm right now playing with Caitlin Clark. I give Kelsey Mitchell the edge. Right now, I think Chennedy Carter is a better shooting guard than, say, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum. So, I mean, she's right up.
Enter Ariel Atkins, a proven baller, a solid teammate, and, most importantly, someone who leaves the drama off the court. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter is watching her WNBA future vanish like spilled Gatorade on the hardwood. The Sky, they've already moved on. As for the fans, it's a battle. Some are celebrating like they hit the jackpot, while Carter's diehard defenders are calling this the biggest injustice since refs started missing blatant fouls. Love it or hate it, one thing's for sure, Chicago isn't looking back.
It's a mad one for me, because I'm like, this is, if this was a year ago, fair enough. But the Sky were willing to take her in. And look, I get it, maybe she wasn't the greatest in the locker room, but she was really good at basketball.
Let's be real, Chicago wasn't subtle about this. They didn't just close the door on Chennedy Carter. They slammed it, locked it, and tossed the key. If there was any doubt before, there isn't now, signing her replacement before she even had a chance to plead her case. That's as loud of a statement as it gets. The Sky made their choice, and Carter's officially out.
Do you have any regrets on how it happened and everything that's happened since then?
I don't have any regrets with anything. I'm going to compete and play 100% hard no matter who it is, like I said, or who we're playing. No, I don't have any.
Let's be real, no one should be shocked. Chennedy Carter spent the season playing the villain instead of elevating her team. The cheap shots, the attitude, the unnecessary drama, it was all adding up. Sure, some fans ate it up, but WNBA teams aren't running a reality show. They want players who contribute, not distractions. That's where Ariel Atkins comes in. No baggage, no nonsense, just skill, leadership, and a team-first mentality. She knows how to make an impact without making enemies. She plays smart, plays hard, and most importantly, she respects the game. Imagine that. Meanwhile, Carter's supporters are calling this unfair, but the reality is simple. If you can't be a team player, teams won't keep you. Chicago didn't just move on, they upgraded. They saw an opportunity to build a better, stronger squad without unnecessary distractions and took it without hesitation. Carter's exit wasn't personal, it was a business decision. And if she doesn't change her approach, she might find herself out of the league entirely.
At first glance, the Chicago Sky trading the number 3 pick in the draft to the Mystics for Ariel Atkins could feel like a little bit of a desperate move, right? Chicago desperate to compete right now with Angel Reese after her rookie season. Of course, Camila Cardoso's rookie season as well. So I get that, and it's a nice rebuilding move by the Mystics.
The real question now, what's next for Chennedy Carter? Because let's be honest, the WNBA isn't exactly lining up to sign her. She's a free agent, but that means nothing if no team is willing to take the risk. After all the drama she's stirred up, franchises might decide she's more trouble than she's worth. This isn't just about talent. Carter can hoop, no doubt. But being a professional athlete is more than skill. It's about mentality, attitude, and understanding that basketball is a team sport, not a solo act. Right now, she's looking like the last pick at a pickup game, the player nobody wants on their squad. Unless she does some serious damage control and proves she can be a team player, this could be the end of her WNBA career. The league moves fast, and if she doesn't adjust, she might get left behind for good.
Due to Carter's behavior, which apparently went unchecked by former coach Teresa Weatherspoon. There was concern within the team regarding how re-signing Carter would impact the Sky's chances of landing other free agents. And likely this was a joint decision that was made between the GM and the new head coach, Tyler.
Chicago isn't looking back. They've moved on. With Ariel Atkins in the mix, they're focused on winning. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter is left wondering where it all went wrong. Spoiler alert, it wasn't just one thing. It was an entire season of bad decisions. Carter went from a walking controversy to a walking free agent, and right now, no WNBA team wants to deal with her. Can you blame them? After spending the season making Caitlin Clark her personal target, both literally and figuratively, Carter is now staring at an empty schedule for 2025. And to think it could have been so different. If she had focused more on her game and less on trying to make a statement, she might still have a spot in the league. But instead, she leaned into the villain role, took cheap shots, and treated Clark like an unworthy rookie. Now, instead of guarding Clark, she'll be watching her dominate from the couch. Remote in one hand, phone in the other, scrolling through WNBA highlights that no longer feature her. In the end, the league moves forward with or without her. And unless Carter finds a way to fix her image, this might just be the final chapter of her WNBA career.
She turned to you a little bit after the fever
I didn't
score.
answer no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
This downfall was entirely avoidable. Plenty of players have had rivalries, but they kept it professional and protected their careers. Carter, she took it way too far. Her aggression wasn't just on the court, it spilled into social media, interviews, and interactions. Now, with no team willing to take a chance on her, she's learning the hard way what happens when you become a problem instead of a player. The irony: Caitlin Clark, the very person Carter tried to humiliate all season, is thriving. She's not just in the league, she's becoming its biggest star. While Carter faces silence and zero contract offers, Clark is gearing up for what could be an MVP-caliber season. She's landing endorsements, breaking records, and proving that real talent, professionalism, and focus will always win in the long run. Meanwhile, Carter is stuck on the outside looking in. If she doesn't find a way to change the narrative, this might be the end of her WNBA journey before it ever truly took off.
And that's what Caitlin Clark has done. Caitlin Clark has changed the industry. She is bigger than the WNBA. There is not a player in the NBA right now who could come in and be bigger than the NBA. For what it's worth, LeBron James at 40 is not bigger than the NBA. When LeBron James retires, we won't blink. I'm being real. People will not blink. They'll keep watching.
Carter's options are now painfully limited. With no WNBA team willing to take a chance on her, she's left with two choices: playing overseas or stepping away from basketball altogether. And let's be honest, once a player leaves the WNBA, there's no guarantee they'll ever return. Front offices have long memories, and Carter's reputation isn't exactly setting her up for a comeback. This might be the biggest career flop in recent memory. She had talent, she had potential, but she threw it all away over pettiness. Instead of elevating her game, she focused on tearing someone else down. And now, the league has spoken. There's no room for that nonsense. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out there making history, proving that skill, professionalism, and respect will always win in the end. Carter will be at home watching, wondering, and hopefully learning a tough lesson. Talent can open doors, but character is what keeps them open.
To the games, even just when we were trying to make the playoffs, it was a hard fight. Y'all know I went down, I had a foot injury, which cost a lot of games at the end of the season. We ended up losing to Washington. I didn't play. We lost to Indiana. I didn't play that game. I missed a couple of games to where, maybe if we had our whole lineup, we could have had a better outcome. But like, as far as like that, there's a lot of just narratives being spent. And from my standpoint, I had a great time, and this was one of the best seasons that I ever had in my career. And I'm not going to allow anybody to downplay it like it went bad, because it didn't go bad. It was the best season that I've had in my life, shooting-wise, playing-wise, living-wise. Like, it was a great experience for me personally.
Chicago Sky fans are talking big, already dreaming of a championship parade like it's a done deal. With Angel Reese in the mix, the hype is off the charts. They're acting like they just assembled the Avengers. But let's pump the brakes for a second. The Sky might be getting better, but there's a massive roadblock standing in their way right out of the gate. The Indiana Fever. And you already know what that means. Caitlin Clark is coming. The first game of the season is set, and Clark is about to put on a show. Chicago can stack their roster all they want, but none of their new additions come with the cheat code Clark has. That three-point sniper, still locked in. Her court vision, still ridiculous. The way she makes defenders look like they're running in slow motion. Yeah, that too. And let's not forget the elephant in the room. The Clark-Reese rivalry is back. The basketball gods made sure this matchup happened early. Last time they faced off in college, it was pure entertainment. Now they're taking it to the WNBA stage. More talent, higher stakes, and way more eyes watching. Buckle up, because this showdown is going to be must-watch TV.
Not the new look Chicago Sky are better than the Indiana Fever. Or realistically, whether or not the new look Chicago Sky have had a better off-season than the Indiana Fever. And this becomes the weirdest debate ever, because styles make fights. Like, that is my logic on this. This is my styles make fights logic. And this team is going to be such a tough out for teams. I don't know if
Chicago fans can talk all they want about making a deep playoff run, but first, they have to get through Caitlin Clark. And if history has taught us anything, that's easier said than done. Reality is about to hit harder than a Clark T3. Sky fans are acting like signing Ariel Atkins instantly turned them into title contenders, like they just cracked some championship formula. Newsflash, one signing isn't enough to erase last season's struggles. But hey, let them dream. This is the same fan base that swore up and down Angel Reese would go toe-to-toe with Clark for Rookie of the Year. That prediction aged about as well as expired milk. While Clark was torching defenses and rewriting record books, Reese was grinding, sure, but let's not pretend it was ever a real competition. Now, after adding a solid veteran in Atkins, these same fans are convinced Chicago is a completely different team. Improvement? Sure. A title contender? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The road to a championship still runs through Indiana, and Clark isn't slowing down anytime soon.
The Fever did not come to play. They are on a mission to win now, like 2025 championship season incoming. They were so quiet during free agency. And in the past 24 hours, boom, boom, boom. Re-signed Kelsey Mitchell to a max deal. Picked up Natasha Howard, bringing her back to the Indiana Fever, where she was originally drafted. And then they just announced a three-way trade, sending Alyssa Smith to Dallas and Sophie Cunningham coming to the Fever. This team in 24 hours.
That's some next-level wishful thinking. Ariel Atkins is a solid addition. She brings defense, experience, and scoring. But let's not act like she's a franchise-altering superstar. Chicago still has major question marks. Their chemistry, still developing. Their depth, nothing special. Their ability to compete with the league's best, highly questionable. Yet, Sky fans are acting like they just built a championship squad overnight. Meanwhile, over in Indiana, Caitlin Clark is probably getting some extra shots up, knowing exactly what's coming. And that first game of the season against Chicago. You already know she's got it circled. She remembers every bit of last year's noise, and she's ready to silence it in the best way possible, by putting on a show. Sky fans can dream, but Clark and the Fever are ready to deliver reality.
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already.
Chennedy Carter just took the biggest loss of her career, and the WNBA wasted no time moving on, no roster spot, no team willing to take the gamble. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is gearing up to take the league by storm. Front offices made their stance clear. Talent isn't enough if the baggage outweighs the benefits. Carter's drama finally caught up with her, and now she's on the outside looking in. It's like gym class, but this time, no one picked her at all. Clark, on the other hand, is thriving. MVP conversations. She's in them. Championship potential. The Fever are building around her. While Carter faces an uncertain future, Clark is locking in, getting stronger, and preparing to make history. One player let distractions define her career, the other stayed focused, and the difference couldn't be clearer. If you enjoyed Legal Like and subscribe, more videos are on screen now.